Hello, Hussein. Can you hear me? Oh, hi.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Good. So,
You're great.
yeah, good. How about you? Which part of the
You're
country,
great.
part of the world are you calling in from? I'm
I'm from Cairo, Egypt,
in
actually.
Cairo right now. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yep.
So, what's the timing like? What's the time difference with like
I just 2 hours ahead of UK.
UK? Oh, wow.
Yeah, just 2 hours ahead. Yeah.
Not much.
And
Yeah.
and and you're based now in London or
No,
UK
I'm
or
in
where?
Scotland. I'm in Scotland.
Hmm.
I'm very close to Edinburgh. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, just about 15 minutes drive to the city center in Edinburgh.
That's good. And how long have you been in Scotland?
3 years now. I
Okay.
graduated 3 years ago. I came to further my studies and got a job after, and I stayed back with my family.
That's
So
that's
how
really
about
good.
you? How about you? Have you been traveling a lot?
Well, not lately. I mean, ever since COVID, I've been, yeah, more or less just sticking to Cairo. Before that, I used to travel more, but hopefully, going back on the roads with, I think the first conference I'll be going to is next month, the Non-Fungible Conference in Lisbon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so going to that, really excited about it.
Oh,
Should be fun.
yeah, it should be. I've got a couple of friends attending it as well.
Mhm.
I was supposed to go for the World Mobile event, but I couldn't meet up because I have problems with childcare, so I had to join virtually. It would
Mhm.
be cool. So you've got your
Yeah.
tickets and everything ready to travel?
Yeah. I mean, right after I booked my flight, I found out that the plane got canceled. So it's good that that happened well before the event. So I
Yeah.
had to reschedule the flight or just pick another airline. But yeah, super excited. Really looking forward to it. I mean, the last in-person conference I attended was, I think, um, 20 late 20, yeah, early 2020. I don't even remember. I mean,
Been a
just
long
just
time.
that. I mean, time. Yeah, time. I mean, time flew so fast. So yeah, just I think maybe this year, hopefully things don't escalate more in Europe
Yeah.
or Eastern Europe, and it's kind of stable, just so that flights, nothing
Mhm.
is interrupted, and I'll be able to travel. Yeah.
Hopefully, with what is happening in Ukraine, one is
Mhm.
getting
Yeah,
scared.
it's very, yeah,
Fight of a
it is
third
very unfortunate.
war coming up, so we just have to be on our toes.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. Uh, I just really hope, yeah, things just don't escalate further, and they kind of, I don't know, it's just too much from one crisis to the other.
Exactly,
Um,
from COVID.
yeah, I mean,
Seriously,
yeah,
seriously.
it's quite
It's
tiring.
beginning to feel like, like the end of the world that is being talking about, that is being talked about, like the end of the world. I'm like, what's
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm telling my friend, I mean, next would be, I think, would be maybe a meteor, maybe dinosaurs being
happening?
resurrected, aliens, I think. Yeah, I think I mean, we're at this stage now.
Anything,
Hopefully not, but
you just have to
it's
be
just never
prepared.
ending.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just never ending.
Yeah, it is. We'll just take a couple of few minutes. I've got some persons coming on the call. We just take like 2 to 3 minutes and get them
Mhm.
settled in, and then we start. So I'm just gonna send a reminder in the group. Yeah. Okay. So I today has been a good day for me. I don't know if you've if you know about Richard from the IVG Girls, Innovation Girls. So I've got about nine girls from my community being picked into their workshop. So they had series of calls with them, 3 of the girls today, and 9 of them will be coming on calls later on. So it's so amazing. I'm so excited I've got these girls into the program, and it's like 8 weeks. They're going to be mentored. We have a Kathy Hako coming on, and yeah, the founder of Gravity Sketch. Gravity Sketch is in London. It's owned by a female, of course. The program is for like females, young females, 13 to 17. And I have myself also going in as a mentor, talking about NFT. Kathy Haku is coming to talk about metaverse, and the lady from Gravity Sketch, she's going to be all about the designs for virtual reality. So it's really an amazing time for me today, and I was so happy and super excited for the girls as well.
Congratulations. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. When is it? When is that happening?
It's from April 17th to June 11th. So it's going to be an 8 weeks long program, and they have the likes of Procter and Gamble, General Electric, Gravity Sketch, about Meta itself, because the girls are going to be supplied with, the Oculus Quest and a number of things. So they've got these brands coming on to, scrutinize the girls' work and fund the ones that are outstanding. So yeah,
that sounds great. That sounds great.
yeah,
Congrats.
it's massive.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, thank you. So 2 more minutes and we just start, because I really want we normally have about 35 to 50 people on call. So I wouldn't want us to keep going over things when they have come and then probably referring us to things that we've mentioned. So we just take a couple of minutes for them to come in, and then we just start.
Sounds good.
So anyway, while we wait for them, I think it would be nice for those that are already on the call, we get to introduce the platform and introduce our host for today. As usual, this is Flo's Verse, and we bring the best of the best to our platforms. We've had in the past, I think this is like our 4th section, and it's been really an enlightening process for people. We've got individuals, we've got younger adults, we've got brands that have come on the call to learn about the metaverse and NFT, to explore the world of NFTs. Last week, I happened to have someone that actually came into the NFT space with close to nothing, and has made quite a fortune, come on the call and like sensitize people on how you could actually start off with like 0 funds and make things from it. So today we happen, it's also a special day because we have someone that is very good. He's a colleague of mine. We had a program together, and he was like one of the outstanding people in the class a couple of months ago, and I happened to reach out to him, and he accepted to come on the platform to share more information on what he's really good at and what he's currently doing at the moment. He's Hussein Hashish. If I got that wrong, permit me, I'm sorry.
That's right. That's perfectly right.
He's got an MSc in blockchain and digital currency. He's a founder of Blockchain Hub Egypt. He's joined the call all the way from Cairo today, and he's also the Chief Metaverse Officer at Athens. I mean, he's very loaded. I've listened to him, I've attended. He has his own workshop, and I've happened to attend it, and I do get some free NFTs for attending his class as well. So we are happy to have him on this platform today. And before I go further, I would like him to give us a background of himself, and tell us more about himself, and we would like to get to meet him.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction, and I don't know how to go further after this, further this insane pub. But anyway, thank you so much for having me tonight. I think it's tonight, and yeah, tonight. And welcome me for in your group. So my name is Hussein, and I started my blockchain journey back in, I think, 2016. Um, I mean, I started wh- uh, when I just came across Bitcoin, read the Bitcoin paper, was fascinated by the implications of blockchain, and I was just pursuing some kind of education, just to start my journey in this space. That's when I came across this amazing program offered by the University of Nicosia, and they have like a year and a half, 2 year program in blockchain cryptocurrencies. Luckily, I scored a scholarship, and yeah, I mean, 2 years later, I started, I think, end of 2019, finished end of 2020. And 2021 was basically my first year to be semi. I mean, I had my analog world or analog job, which is I basically I've been doing supply and shipping for roughly 13 years, and throughout these 13 years, I did some music producing with my brother. I'm actually a vintage comic book collector and trader. So Superman and Spider-Man, Batman, but really early issues like 30s all the way to late 50s. So that's one of my passions. And um, and yeah, so blockchain and crypto, I've been not full time, but I would say it's my digital job besides my analog life. Um, and so yeah, I joined Athens DAO, which is a multidisciplinary organization, and started off as an investment and blockchain analyst, and then pivoted towards metaverse and NFTs, where now I'm leading the charge when it comes to helping first, brands and corporations understand how they can pivot, how they can develop their, that's called metaverse strategy, how they can utilize these different technologies, how all these different pieces of the puzzle comes together, be it the new hardware, blockchain with fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens, all of this just to bring value to the brand, bring value to the users, and explore different or new revenue streams. And I also consult and advise content creators, help them also understand this whole space from getting onboarded onto the blockchain world, creating learning very simple basic skill sets, from understanding what are wallets, what are just the fundamentals of blockchain, all the way to how they can add value to their current ecosystem, or how they can utilize this technology to establish a deeper connection with their communities, with their fan base, and how they can co-share whatever brand they've created with their current fans, or explore expanding their current ecosystems. Finally, I also do blockchain, or lead the blockchain education for the Pan Africa Tech Foundation, which is a foundation also, I think they were established beginning of 2021, and they are targeting mass education for the African continent, specifically in blockchain and AI, or artificial intelligence. So yeah, this is just a very quick um, breakdown on what I do. Now I have my main office space is in Decentraland, which is one of those open user-generated content platforms. Um, so um, so yeah, I now I'm working on having this open space to showcase and curate content creators' work, African content creators' work, and content, art, music, everything. Hopefully, I'll be hosting my classes and workshops in Decentraland, hopefully expand later on to some new space. So yeah, just super immersed and super fascinated by what's happening. It's an amazing time to be alive, and yeah, we're just basically living this new digital revolution.
Yeah, that's a nice one, Hussein. And why I'm even excited about this is that we are all super early. We are still very, very much super early into the system, into the industry, and also coming from, maybe I didn't give a brief background of the people I have on the call. I have predominantly people from Africa, and I have some BMEs, that's Africans here in United Kingdom and in diaspora as well. So, like, if you check the mapping of the metaverse and NFT, you find out that we are still a bit lagging behind as Africa on the map. It's kind of the whole industry is kind of Americanized and stuff like that. So from your own perspective, how do you think we can use this industry to shape or to put Africa on the map of this metaverse? I don't know, we have this kind of, I'm not going to use it, complex, that we feel that some things are left for the Western world, they dominate. But how do you think, or how do you see Africans utilizing this opportunity to put ourselves on the map?
That's a great question. And what's so special about this technology and what's happening in the world right now is, and what's blockchain enabling actually, is access to opportunities. Well, what I mean by that is, blockchain is breaking down barriers, and the fact that it's creating new jobs, new types of jobs, digitally native jobs, where it's it's basically a new infrastructure that is open and is accessible to anyone on the planet with an internet connection and basically a mobile phone or a device that helps that person connect to the internet, connect to this global economy where they can participate in this global economy, create the content, own the content, and get paid digitally native without permission to participate. So the current world we're living in, or we've been living in, is or was dominated by these gatekeepers. And these gatekeepers come in the form of big tech and the traditional finance, finance institutions, where they put these barriers for people to participate in any economy or the global economy. So if you are living in Africa now, and there are these new opportunities that are enabled by this technology, you are able to participate. I mean, one example I always love to mention is, I mean, just to break it down, is there are new blockchain-based games. One of the most famous of them is Axie Infinity, which is like a Pokemon-like game. So basically, what happens is, when you participate in that game, if a gamer or a non-gamer, you're playing that game, and there's an in-game token or an in-game coin that you earn from playing or utilizing your time to play. And then at the end of each and every month, there are people who basically, I mean, the barrier to entry for this game is, in this specific case, is buying a specific NFT or a game NFT or a game asset, where you can lend out to players who cannot afford to buy this in-game NFT. So what happens is, there are, on one hand, the investors in this space, and then on the other hand, people who have time on their hands to play the game and earn the in-game token reward. So what happens is the investors lend out these in-game assets for people around the world, mainly in Africa, in some parts of Asia and Latin America. They play the game. They make the best out of their time to play the game. They earn the in-game token reward, and they get paid digitally, instantly, and without any barriers. So I actually run one of these examples where I have players playing in Indonesia and playing in Venezuela, and the, for them to access, I mean, during COVID, they got laid off for some reason and they had no access to work. So these new types of jobs emerged and provided a sustainable income for lots of people around the world to work and get paid, and provide for their families. And something amazing happened during this time last year in where was it? Yeah, in the Philippines. One of these in-game token rewards, tokens, were used as a medium of exchange in the local economy. So um, a medium of exchange is basically just, like, fiat currencies or money, where you can exchange a product or service for this currency. So this in-game token was used in some local districts as a medium of exchange. So you would be earning a digital currency and paying and using this exact digital currency for payment of goods and services in your local economy without having to exchange that to your the money that was issued by a central bank. So going back to your point, um, blockchain and the new protocols, the new applications built on top are permissionless. I mean, by meaning that they need permission to access these economies, to access these applications. There's no KYC, or there are no barriers to entry. You don't need an ID. You don't need anything. All you need is just an internet connection and whatever time, whatever skill set that you have, whatever analog skill set that you have. If you're a designer, an analyst, a financial, I mean, whatever, skill set that you have developed over the years, you can utilize these exact same skill sets to access this global permissionless economy. So when it comes to Africa, I mean, Africans participating in the global, economy, yeah, I mean, it's something that's never been enabled before, because there's not much more friction as there was before. There are different opportunities that we can explore. Currently, I'm African. I'm located in Egypt, and the types of opportunities that emerged over the past couple of years, and are going to still be emerging throughout these coming few years, are quite endless. And I think the biggest obstacle is education. And to unlock these opportunities, we as leaders, as maybe visionaries, or people who are just have been privileged to access this type of information early on, it's our job to help others to understand, to help them navigate the space, and help them unlock these opportunities. Because I mean, the opportunities are there, the skill sets are there, but people need to understand and need to find the light, basically.
Yeah, that's amazing, Hussein. Back to our topic for today. Um, to individuals, how is how are these NFTs? I don't know, maybe you give us a background of, I don't know if we have first time people that are joining us for the first time that are not really conversant with the terms NFT. You could start with that and then go on to how NFT is really enabling the content creation factor in the economy, in the modern economy right now.
So just some basics. So what a non-fungible token is, or an NFT is. So there are two types of tokens that one can create on a blockchain. So the blockchain is just the global ledger or the open ledger that records transactions, be it fungible or non-fungible. So when you so obviously the first digital currency created is the fungible type, is Bitcoin. And then now I think there are close to maybe 4,000 or 5,000 types, other fungible tokens. And when you say fungible, means in the sense that it's interchangeable, meaning that there's nothing unique about it. So when you talk about, let's say, I mean, the most simple example is if I have $1 and you have $1 each of us, doesn't have something special about this dollar, so we can interchange it. And if I give you my dollar, you give me mine. I mean, they're exactly the same thing. Just like when you maybe go out and buy a stock in Google, for example, you're not picking which Google stock because they're all the same. They all give you this exactly, they all entail exactly the same privileges or exactly the same meaning. So most of things in our life are actually non-fungible. They are not interchangeable. They are unique and they cannot be replaced. And there's always something special about it. So your partner is non-fungible, your dog is non-fungible, your chair is non-fungible, your sandwich is non-fungible. So all of these things, all these, uh, each and every each and every one of these things is unique and cannot be, replaced, basically. So when you record something on the blockchain, you can record a transaction that involves a fungible token. So what you're exchanging or what is being recorded on the blockchain is just the change in balance of anyone's wallet. So what the ledger only or the blockchain only records is what you have or what you own, which reflects to your wallet. So your digital wallet or your cryptocurrency wallet records your assets, records your ownership of the assets or the digital assets, be it fungible or non-fungible. So whatever you see on the news or whatever you perceive to own, the things you trade, the things you buy, the things you exchange online as being non-fungible, what you're actually doing, what you're actually exchanging is just the token or the certificate of authenticity of that thing, be it a digitally native thing or actually could be a physical thing. So there are new ways now where you can tokenize basically anything. Could be real estate, could be a car, could be what you're doing is just anchoring something digital or physical to this cryptographic token that is recorded on the blockchain and is exchanged instantly, smoothly, and borderlessly, and between one person and the other. So this thing on the blockchain is the token, and whatever you attach to that token is just, I mean, you could do it could be anything from like I said, a physical thing to a digitally native thing. Could be like a piece of art, could be music, could be just a Word document, could be a domain name. Whatever you think of could be recorded on the blockchain, um, and the token itself or the non-fungible token itself, it's just the certificate of authenticity, and the blockchain acts as just the ledger and the and records the provenance or the history of exchange of ownership of this token. So this is just a very quick, hopefully was in a clear explanation of
Yeah.
fungible and non-fungible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, and I believe most of us here have a background knowledge of how the blockchain works and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask you a more personal question because I think a couple of weeks ago I had someone meet me. I think he's an artist, and he was like, "Oh, how can I put my work out there? How can I convert my work to NFTs? How can I start my own creation and my own collection on as NFT collections?" So,
Mhm.
how would you like, explain to these artists that are coming from real reality that have heard about NFTs and they now want to create their work on turn it to NFTs? So, what are the steps they are likely to take, to build their collections? What are they supposed to look out for before they bring on their work, their artwork to the to NFTs?
Well, for I have an example, a very live example. Lately, I've been working with an artist. She's been a physical artist. When I mean physical, right, real world artist, she does physical sketches. Because most of the content creators or the artists that started off in NFTs were not most of them, but yeah, I mean the vast majority are digital artists or who create digital artworks. But for artists who do sketches, paintings, it's I mean, for them, they're used to displaying and selling their art in physical, art in the art world. They are used to these galleries and this whole setting of third parties and people involved from to showcase, curate, sell, and everything that is involved in this. It's just quite complicated, but I mean, there's a lot of things involved that come into place. But for her to pivot to how she can um, or for any artist to discover how they can unlock opportunities by utilizing NFTs. First, I mean, you have to figure out or understand I mean, how you can connect with your fan base, because what NFTs actually enable is digital ownership. And by digital ownership, that there's a new way for you to actually connect with the content creator. Before, I mean, imagine before you can how you would prove that you actually own something directly from the content creator. You have to, there's auction houses and appraisers and historians and people who dedicate their whole lives to prove the authenticity and prove the provenance of this piece of work and how it's connected to the original content creator. But now with, I mean, with NFTs, once you sell that piece of work, you now the holder of this NFT has a direct connection with the original content creator. Now I can prove forever that, hey, I have a let's say, a piece of music that Madonna created, because Madonna created this smart contract on the blockchain, and she announced that this is the code that represents ownership for that, or the serial number that represents ownership to that NFT. So now I own that piece of thing, or this creation from the artist. So for artists to think about how they can pivot to this, they mustn't they mustn't think about this as just a project or just a one time thing. They have to think about this as just an extension of their brand, an extension of their digital presence, and how they can provide or harness this technology to provide extra utility, extra perks, and reward the patrons of their work, because there is this amazing feature in NFTs where you can program stuff within this token. When I mean program, the most amazing thing is that once, I mean, in the analog world, if you sell this piece of art, you only realize the revenue from this only primary sale. But with the programmability of NFTs, you can integrate royalties where you can get paid in perpetuity forever. So, for instance, if let's say Picasso did, if he was alive today and he sold his piece of art, let's say he wasn't yet famous, and he sold his piece of art, the first one, for maybe $100. And then the first buyer would then maybe years later sell it again for $1 million. So with the magic of NFTs and the programmability of NFTs, he is able to recoup a part or a fraction of, or a percentage of the secondary sale of this creation, and so on. So every exchange of hands for this creation, the original content creator is able to realize some revenue and some income from this creation. So that's why it's been perceived as the NFTs and what's it's enabling for content creators as the not the gig economy or the creator economy, it's the passion economy. And I'm passion economy as in the sense that you as a content creator, or you as someone who is passionate about something, be it art, be it music, be it something that in the current world you are not able to pursue and depend on for a sustainable source of income. But with NFTs, it's enabling you as a content creator to explore, to utilize and harness this technology to create the content, own the content, and dictate how you can monetize the content. So for artists in this sense, they can, first of all, they need to understand the basics from, you know, the basics of blockchain, the basics of how they can convert their, their money or their fiat currency from the analog to the digital. So how they can convert, dollars or euros or whatever local currency to cryptocurrency. Next, they have to understand how they can protect their digital funds, because in the blockchain world, or the open blockchain world, the custody of digital assets falls on the user, or falls on the holder. In the old world, or the world we're living in, most of the time you depend on a bank or a financial institution to take care of your funds. There's a password, there's a way to recover your funds. But as we all know, in with digital currencies, this burden is passed on to the user or the holder. So artists need to understand all of these, develop these very basic skill sets to first, do the on ramp. Second, to understand how they can protect the funds, and next they have to explore the different or pursue the specific industry where they are creating the content. So for photographers, for instance, there are specific marketplaces where they can create their NFT, or create a digital version of their work in the form of an NFT. And what that means is there are now platforms that assist content creators to, with no coding background or developing background, to like an Instagram or Facebook, where you can just follow some instructions, and you can upload your work onto the platform, and issue the NFT onto the platform, and dictate the price, dictate how many issues that you want to create for this creation. And I mean, all these little details that each platform has. But there are so many details involved, not just with the creation of the token, but how you as a content creator would you have to put yourself in the seat of the user or the potential buyer of your work. Because, like I said, there are many things that from the point of view of the buyer or the issuer of the NFT, that they need to consider, from which blockchain they should be issuing these NFTs on. Because depending on which blockchain, then it corresponds to fees, it corresponds to the different skills needed to navigate to acquire the NFT, to all the way to displaying the NFT on which kind of wallet, or which kind of a portfolio tracker, or how do you want to pursue it. So there's that. There's also, I mean, there's the fact that something that's quite dangerous is that, going back to the programmability feature in NFTs, I know that there are a lot of content creators who go out there and look for developers to create their smart contracts, or create their contracts that help them issue their NFTs. And I know that there are developers on job marketplaces like Fiverr or Upwork, where people go out and hire developers to issue their smart contracts. The problem is that with smart contracts, it's very, very dangerous to hire someone that you do not know. So when you think about the team, so going back, so this goes to the, first, I mentioned the step one is just to think about this in a broader sense, how you can add value to your whole ecosystem. And once you, narrow down your focus, you have to think about how you can implement and the different skills needed to execute this plan. So as an artist, you can obviously do it on your own, or if you want to do, if you're thinking long term, you're going to have someone with marketing, someone on social media management, helping you to get the word out. And when it comes to the technicalities, you can either go the route, like I said, with the marketplace, because most marketplaces do have a very simple process that you can follow and issue the NFTs. Or if you have a website and you can have a developer or someone who is technically capable to help you to deploy your smart contract with your NFTs, it's very, very dangerous to hire someone that you do not know. So always hire someone that you trust, because there are funds involved, there are digital assets and involved, and just think about how banks or how a company would go out on the open job market and just hire any developer who can input some kind of code that would have some kind of backdoor and would harm your brand, and maybe steal funds from your users or steal funds from your own wallet. So it's very, very dangerous to hire someone that's specifically within the in the development of the smart contract of your NFT. So always hire someone that you trust, someone that you know for a fact that would not harm your brand and harm the creation of your NFT, because once you are in it, once it's deployed, you cannot change anything. You cannot change the code. It's live on the blockchain and it runs indefinitely. So these are just simple things that you need to consider at first, because once you have it live and once you have this initial picture in your mind how people are going to interact with the NFT, what the different perks you're going to offer the holders, what's so special about it, how you convert if it's something that is physically native or like in a sketch, how you can convert it into a digital form, what kind of unlockable content that you're going to offer the holders. If you're doing like a sketch, is this sketch going to be shipped out to your holders later on? So all of these things you can think of, because if it's just this digitally native content, then it could be just unlocked once the holder of the NFT gets to buy it. So yeah, these are just some things that artists need to consider. Just some of them.
Thank you very much, Hussein. You've actually said a lot in a little while, because from all you've said, I've been able to make out, you created an avenue for like teams and for content creators. Say, I'm not an artist and I have this idea, I have this picture in my mind, I have this project I want to launch, how to go about it. You've actually talked about building your team and actually having people that you trust on your team. And actually, and on the other hand, say I'm an artist, I could be a photographer, and or I'm someone that have passion for photography. I know it's crazy some time ago that this is it the guy from Indonesia that sold 1 million of his selfies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
he said he sold 1 million of 1 million of his photos of just his selfies. Just as in, if you just think of it naturally, it wouldn't really make sense to someone, but these are means you could actually unlock generational wealth, as the guy is already a millionaire in dollars just by that. So whatever you have passion for, there's an avenue for you on the blockchain to actually, build on it. As you said, not just I was saying this to some persons in my private class. I told them some of us can't even build like a company on real life, but blockchain and NFTs giving us that opportunity. You could actually look for 1 or 2 people. Maybe you are the artist, I have the content, I have the idea, you're the programmer. We just come together to make this work. And that leads me to the next question. At that point that you've actually, like, you mentioned the marketplace where as a photographer, I could actually take my work and upload, follow step-by-step instruction and upload successfully. At the point of, uploading, after that, how can I market, this is as an individual? Like, what trick do you think that guy used in selling out his 1 million selfies to make that amount of money?
In these specific cases where someone goes totally viral, it's something either extremely unique with a bit of luck in the mix, but he did something, as simple as taking a selfie each and every day and converting this content in the form of an NFT, And me as a buyer of this very unique piece of content on the internet, regardless of, how maybe, I wouldn't say stupid, but I mean very simple, might someone might look at it, but it, going back to just the basics of owning or digital ownership, the fact that I can prove to the world that I am the only owner of this content for the selfies of this person, or I am the owner when it comes to photography, like you mentioned, or we were mentioning with photography. I am the owner of the only high resolution picture of this lion in Kenya, for instance. I mean, with photographers, you have this option to create or take your photography to a whole new level where you're just passing the IP rights or the intellectual property rights or the ownership of the photographs that you create to the buyer, and you get to recoup all the secondary sales, the royalties from the secondary sales forever. And one piece of advice I always give to content creators who are pivoting to NFTs is don't price your work so high or expect to make like $1 million overnight. Most of us or most of content creators online have been doing it for free, be it photography on Instagram, be it music on SoundCloud, art, vlogs, any kind of content. You know, uh, we've been tricked, not tricked, but with the current with how big tech, uses our content to market their platforms and monetize us and monetize our attention, we have lost ownership of our content. But now suddenly you have this avenue to actually monetize and control how you monetize your content. So don't go out there and price immediately expect that you're going to price your creations at $1,000 or $2,000 and expect to sell out in seconds. I mean, you have to put a lot of effort and put out a lot of marketing and start small and be committed to your brand, be committed to connecting with your fans, connecting with your fan base. Even if you have like thousands of followers, there are ways for you now to make the best out of your micro network, those 100, 200 core, ride or die followers who love your content. Even if you give out the first, collection, whatever it is, for free, the market then dictates or gets to value your creations. So if you give out, let's say for example, you have like maybe a very type, you have a very unique type way of sketches or a type of content that you're creating, and you decided to, hey, why not just give away 100 editions or a thank you for the people who've been following me on Instagram or on SoundCloud or on Twitter, a giveaway for all of them, something from me as a content creator to them as a thank you for following me and supporting me over the years in the analog world. And then one of these holders decides that, hey, there's someone who liked this piece of work and I sell it for $100. Instantly you get a fraction of those $100, given that the initial drop was just for free. So then the floor price of your creations jumps from zero to $100. So now all your creations, now the market has priced your creations now at $100, given that there is demand or there's some kind of perception, because art and most of the content is subjective, but I mean, we all have different tastes. And once there's someone, who loves or appreciates the type of content you're creating, they can put a price on it and pay that price, not just right click save as, or get or download it somewhere. Now they can appreciate and they can actually own that thing or that content straight from the original content creator, display it online, and now you have this word of mouth, and for them they are incentivized to go out there on Twitter, on social media, and say, hey, I got this amazing photograph or I got this amazing painting from this content creator, and people go out on the marketplace and then buy your content or buy the creation at this new floor price or this new the lowest price basically for any piece of content that you created. So that's something that is amazing and provides a lot of opportunities for people to dip their toes in, experiment, and and again going back to the programmability part of it, how you can harness this technology to connect with with your user base. It doesn't stop at just a piece of content that you're creating, but how you can provide something extra for the holders. If you're an artist, do like a live demo or maybe a live sketch with your holders. Have some meet and greet, some events, some airdrops. Give them something that is special and different from the rest of the pack, the rest of the people who do not hold something that is owned by you.
Wow, this is highly educative, and I'm sure that a lot of people here are already, having pictures of ideas streaming in their mind. On that's quite enlightening. Thank you, Hussein. At this point, I would like to open up the floor for questions. If you're a content creator or a brand and you would like to ask further questions on how to, launch your NFT project, this is the time. You can unmute yourself or type in the chat box. While we are waiting for you, I think I have a question someone asked earlier on in the platform, because I have a platform where, we just drop events and information.
Mm-hmm.
She says, please, how do I create and sell NFTs without gas fee? Has anyone here done that before? I tried answering it, but I would like you to also share further knowledge on that.
Yeah, so good question. There are, okay, let me start with the big picture. The big picture being that uh, most of the liquidity, most of the NFT action, it happens on Ethereum. Why? Because Ethereum is the most battle-tested blockchain out there, and when you are transacting on a blockchain like Ethereum, what you're paying for, the gas fees that are people complaining about are just the fees for commitment. What you're buying and what you're paying for is commitment and security. And what that means is that with the bigger the blockchain, the more battle tested it is, the higher the chance, the much lower the chances are for the content or the information that you're recording on that chain to be edited or deleted or anything. So once, as we all know, once information is stored on a blockchain, it's there forever. The reason why people pay a lot of fees on Ethereum, because Ethereum is the infrastructure where all of this ecosystem is built on top, all these different decentralized applications, the NFT trading is all happening on this main chain, knowing that once it's recorded on there's absolutely, there's top security and there's immutability. Immutability meaning that it cannot be changed, information can be edited, like we all know. So here comes, the layer two solutions or the side chains, or the, let's say, if Ethereum is the trunk of the tree, then there are these layer two solutions or scalability solutions that provide zero gas fees or no gas fees. The problem is if you pursue these different other blockchains, be it a layer one, like let's say, I don't know, whereas so like Solana or other blockchains, I think Polygon now or some marketplaces offer zero gas or no fees when it comes to mint. The thing is, the liquidity or the market is dominated in Ethereum. So most of the action, most of the activity, the NFT activity is on Ethereum. What you can do obviously is go and mint on another blockchain that offers zero fees. But if you're just starting out, chances are that you get noticed or have a market that would notice your work and buy your work is not slim, but is not as high as the market or the NFT market has built on Ethereum. But obviously, there are a lot of options out there. I know that OpenSea now supports Polygon chains, and Polygon is one of those very famous layer 2 solutions where you can mint for free or pay. I think you can mint for free on OpenSea on Polygon. Yeah. The thing is that Polygon has been there's been some issues with transactions not being recorded on Polygon. There's some blockchain congestion. It is getting better, but you know, on a normal day, you're able to mint, for instance, on OpenSea. OpenSea being the biggest NFT marketplace out there. They support Ethereum, Polygon, and there are rumors that they're going to support Solana soon. But anyway, if you go out there and mint on OpenSea using the Polygon chain, I think they cover the fees because Polygon, you have to pay fees, but on OpenSea, they cover the fees for the content creators. And on the other side, as a buyer, I think you pay.
Sorry, Hussein, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. Yeah, it just got muted for some reason.
Yeah.
So I just saying, I mean, OpenSea, yeah, there's a way for you to mint on Polygon on OpenSea for free right now.
All right. I hope that's clear enough. We are still waiting for more questions. As we wait, Hussein, can you type like your contact, your handles, so people that really want to, that would like you to consult for them could actually reach you? Yeah. Can you type
my pleasure
box where everyone can see that?
My Twitter is at Metaversive, and my email is, let me just type it in, hubegypt.com. Yep.
Okay. Everyone kindly give Hussein a follow back because he's actually shared a lot of knowledge and information today with us, and I know you would like to know more if you want to build your own NFT project. And if you have a question, you can ask now before we round up. That's his email. You could email him if you wish to, or contact him via Twitter. So we'll take like a couple of minutes for anyone that has a question before I would ask Hussein to, round up for the day. Thank you.
No, I mean, while we wait for questions, I mean, you don't have to be, I mean, you don't have to have a roadmap or you don't need to overcomplicate things when you're pursuing this. The fact that you are exploring it, like I said, with your micro network, because right now, as a content creator in this, I always call it the analog world, on YouTube or Facebook, the influencers, they recoup most of the, for them to start having some kind of income, you have like 1 million followers or have to have this big, following to start monetizing your time or monetizing your content. On the other hand, with NFTs, you just have to harness this micro network, the hardcore fans, the 100, 200 fans that you know for a fact that they are going to support you and buy your work and support you at the very beginning of your journey. But again, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a singer, you have to start exploring this and start educating your fans, educating your communities, because once you do that, they are able to access this type of content that you are creating. And now you are and you are just expanding the ecosystem, connecting with your fans, adding value to their fans, and offering this way for them to co-create, co-own, and co-develop your ecosystem.
I think we have someone just type a question in the chat box, and he says, how can I start my NFT collection, and what's the limit amount I can start with? I think for the first question, in fact, the 50 minutes or 55 minutes of this section has already covered it. But about the second part of the question, I don't know if you have any answer to that, to saying like, what amount of money can I start with?
Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, if you are if, I mean, obviously it depends on the type of content you're creating, because before it was just maybe one or two marketplaces, general marketplaces that offer all kinds of content. So a marketplace like NFT, like OpenSea, it offers from profile pictures to art to music to photography to domain names to all of that. Now there are specialized marketplaces for different industries. So there's a whole ecosystem for music, a whole ecosystem that they're developing for photography, another for art, for high-end art, for domain names, for books, for all kinds of content, for digital real estate, to in-game assets. So depending on the type of content you're creating, I think the easiest way again to go, the easiest avenue is to explore OpenSea, explore minting on Polygon, the layer 2 solution, knowing that OpenSea covers the fees. So you can start off with maybe, I think, $10, because transactions on Polygon using, the Matic token is I mean, they're quite cheap, so you can conduct as many transactions as you want with. I mean, I had maybe one Matic on one of my wallets, and I've been using Polygon chain for different types of transactions, and I barely, finished my credit in Matic. But as a budget, you can explore minting on OpenSea using Polygon. I hope that answers the question. I think there's another one from Azumi. What exactly is NFT flipping? So NFT flipping, Azumi, is basically you buying an NFT with the purpose of selling it for a profit. So my also piece of advice, it is a NFT space is a very, very dangerous thing or asset class to participate in. You have to be very careful. There are a lot of scams out there. You have to do a lot of research before buying into an NFT project. There are a lot of scams out there, a lot of malicious actors, and also a little piece of advice: if you are going into a project with the sole purpose of flipping, according to statistics, you have to have an early access pre-sale or before the mint goes live for the general public to enhance your chances of selling at a profit. Because most of the time, and I've encountered this firsthand, if I'm not minting or having access to a NFT drop before the public sale, chances are that, especially if it's super hyped up and there's a lot of word about it, then there's a big chance that you will not be able to participate at public sale, because if you heard about the gas war, just the idea of maybe 100,000 people at the same time trying to acquire a collection that has 1,000 pieces or 1,000 editions. So you can imagine you being you just standing in line waiting for your turn to buy the creation or mint the creation. So at the end of the day, you're just going to pay a lot of gas. You might not get your transaction processed, and you end up losing the fees. And if you get to buy it at public, then I would definitely recommend you just selling it right away for the profit, because as I said, the markets are extremely volatile, and yeah, this is a whole other conversation. But just simply to answer your question, it's just you coming in and flipping or selling it quickly hopefully for a profit.
Thank you so much, Hussein, for that answer. I hope it has answered your question, Daniel. And I think that would bring us to the end of the section, except if anyone has more questions, you could actually type in the Telegram group or send it directly via email to Hussein in turn. And I would like to especially thank Hussein for coming on this section. You know, it's been an eye opener to a lot of persons here that have been thinking of how to go into the NFT marketplace. You know, sometimes we think that we need like a lot of funds, or we need so many people on a project. Sometimes you could just, as a lover or someone that has passion for art, you could actually start building something for yourself gradually. And as I would say also, that community also plays out a lot in this industry. You know, you have to meet people, you have to follow people. Always check out the people that are doing what you are doing, the people that have gone ahead of you. If they are artists, look out for the digital artists, those that are causing wave, follow them on Twitter, be active, interact with them. You don't necessarily, in fact, you mustn't bump into their PM to start saying, oh, I did this, I don't know, but start interacting with their posts and commenting. It could just by luck attract their attention, and just a mention of your project, you've gone viral. So try to
And do a
belong
lot
to,
of education and a lot of do a lot of reading. Like Nora said,
yeah.
a lot of reading,
Mhm.
put a lot of time into it each and every day. Besides the education I got and the masters and all of that, I put a lot of time every day to keep up to date, to keep it well informed. Perfect advice, like you said, is just connect with people, interact, ask questions. There are no stupid questions in this space. I still have a lot of stupid questions.
Yeah.
There are no stupid questions because we are all learning.
Mhm.
And as Nora said at the very beginning, we're still early and it's a fast paced space. And you have to be very resilient. You have to adapt and you have to learn a lot, read a lot, and try and make mistakes, but try. And once you, dip your toes, you're going to learn a lot. And the easiest way to learn is by practice. Once you practice, once from a very simple act of converting your money to crypto and then moving your funds from one place to the other, conducting a transaction, all of these things they're actually helping you in your journey when your buyers or prospective audience gets to interact with you or your NFTs. You get to help them understand and learn and participate in whatever you're creating. So learn a lot, put a lot of time, and there are no stupid questions ever.
Exactly, no stupid questions whatsoever. Thank you so much, Hussein, for coming on this section, and thank
My
you
pleasure.
to everyone that made it today. We hope to connect with you more often, and do follow us on Twitter. I didn't put my Twitter on the chat box as well, but do well to give Hussein a follow back on Twitter, and reach out to his email if you have any private or personal question. Thank you, and
My
we'll
pleasure.
call it a day here. Good night,
My
everyone
pleasure.
from here.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.